right, let's see if this video gets banned. So my comments on a raw milk thread have been getting constantly deleted, and I have to like constantly keep trying to post something that sticks, and I'll post it and it will appear, then I close out of YouTube and then I go back and I click on it and it's removed. So my comments keep getting deleted because we know that YouTube absolutely hates it when you explain to somebody why they're dumb, okay? And you give them the facts. You give them indisputable facts that they cannot say anything against, right? Because you get them into a corner, and that's just what I like to do. I don't know why, but you know, because the way that I see it is that you have lots of people reading these threads, and if you just give up, people don't know the truth. They don't understand things, right? And so if it's just left on a note of them, you know, what they've said, but you don't respond to actually bring clarity to it, then that just leads to more confusion on the planet, right? And I don't like that. I'm all about information, education, even though at the end of the day, I know that information and education is really only helpful for us in a practical perspective, but like not on the global planetary scale, because that's about intuition and instincts. But I do think being educated and properly informed is important. So I've been on this raw milk thread, and it is amazing to me how absolutely uninformed people are, spouting their opinions, people claiming to be pharmacists and microbiologists, and goes back to my saying, some of these people are the dumbest people on the planet, that they don't even understand basic biology, biological facts. Really, like it really does leave me speechless, because so many people are so much dumber than I ever thought. Like in my young, naive years, I really believed that information and education was going to like light people up. And you give people information and education and you help people to question things and whatever. But then I realized that the average person is just not capable of it. They are not capable of it. And it's like, wow, what a sad statement. So I just wanted to share with you guys my recent comment that got deleted. Was trying to explain to the many people that were coming after me, claiming that, well, raw milk is just dangerous and you're really just stupid and irresponsible for choosing raw milk because there's like no reason to drink it. The risk isn't worth it. There's no benefit to it. And basically all raw milk is contaminated. That's basically what everybody is saying, right? Which is like mind-boggling to me. And then you tell them that it's no more dangerous than eating leafy greens, and they keep coming at you saying, well, you can at least wash leafy greens. But you're like, no, you can't. And then I go to explain the plant biology to them and why that is not the case, and those comments get deleted. They get deleted. It's just plant biology. Like, I'm not going in with my opinion or my thoughts about it, or it's just fucking plant biology. Go take a plant biology class. Like, this is where we are at, seriously. So you've got the raw milk fear-based propaganda being pumped out there like crazy, but they can't even look at the fact that eating leafy greens is just as dangerous. Because once they are contaminated, you cannot wash it off. You can't. You can't. At least with raw milk, with proper sanitization practices, you can actually eliminate it from the milk, right? You can make sure that it's not going to get into the milk. I shouldn't say eliminate it from the milk. It's not in the milk. It's in the environment around the milk, right? So you can prevent it. But when it comes to produce, if it ends up on the produce, you cannot wash it off. You can't. And it all boils down to plant biology as to why that is true. And I'm going to explain it in case somebody needs to hear this, okay? So within the leaf structure, you have the stroma, and you've got these crevices and these pores, right? And so the E. coli, again, the variety that makes people sick. Most E. coli is completely harmless, okay? It's a particular toxin, okay, that is found mostly in unhealthy cows, cows that are fed grains, right? Because grains are not cow food. They're not human food either. They're not cow food. Cows don't do well with them. So cows that are fed grains, okay, are way more susceptible to the variety of E. coli that can make people really sick. Okay, so we need to understand that. Again, it just goes down to biology. Okay, it fucks up their body. It makes their body a very hospitable place for this particular strain of E. coli. Okay, so purely pasture hay fed cows are very unlikely. Okay, not saying impossible, but it's way less likely to be contaminated with this particular strain of bacteria. Okay, so let's just clear that up, right? So the better the farm, the cleaner the farm, the better the practices, the more the practices are in alignment with nature and what cows actually really need to thrive is going to solve an awful lot of problems, okay? There's that, all right? But the actual plant biology is that you have the stroma and these crevices and these pores where this E. coli actually gets right inside there. So you cannot wash it off. It is literally infusing itself into the actual leaf structure, okay? Then there's studies that are showing that the E. coli, especially this particular strain, gets into the root system, okay? Gets into the root structure, into the root system, and it actually infuses into the entire plant, which means you cannot wash this off, all right? And this is why I have said we don't need anybody nannying for us because these people are stupid. They are in no position to tell us what we can and cannot do and what risks we deem appropriate. What risks am I willing to take for the benefit? Okay? There's not much nutrition in leafy greens, okay? Contrary to what they're going to tell you, but there's not. There's like no nutrition in lettuce, okay? And spinach is full of oxalates and all sorts of like plant toxins and anti-nutrients. Ugh, yeah. It doesn't even have the kind of iron that the human body requires. Okay, so it's just like, it's non-heme iron, which is not what the body prefers. All right, so none of these things, you know, in the form of produce, right? Lettuce, salads, whatever, none of those are essential for human health. Okay, but animal products are essential for human health. Okay, they do not contain toxins, they do not contain anti-nutrients. All right, it's just unbelievable the way people, you know, fail to grasp that these things are not nutritious. Okay, they're not. Now, I'm just saying in and of themselves, like lettuce is not nutritious. So why would you take the risk of getting E. coli eating something that has no nutritional value? And when it comes to spinach, it's loaded with oxalates, which can actually kill you. You can overeat spinach very easily. Oxalates are actually poison for the human body, okay? Our bodies actually make oxalate as part of the metabolic process, okay? The breakdown and the elimination and neutralization of toxic waste and toxic byproducts through the metabolic process that need to be removed from the body. Oxalates are part of this metabolic process of eliminating toxic wastes out of the body. So oxalates are a toxic metabolic product, okay, that has to be eliminated from the body because it's poison, it's toxic. It's toxic to the human body. So when you're eating them in spinach or other greens or whatever, you are eating these toxins, okay, that the body now has to eliminate, which stresses the body out. Of course it does. Some people are going to tolerate it better than others though, right? So you're choosing to eat things that come with either no nutrition or a whole new set of risks, okay? Like a whole new set of risks. On top of the fact that if it's contaminated with E. coli, you cannot wash it off. But yet raw milk has every nutrient known to man, every vital nutrient that the human body needs. People get amazing health benefits from raw milk that you will never see from pasteurized milk. Never, never, like never. Okay? And yes, they're anecdotal because nobody's studying this, but there are millions, millions of people drinking raw milk. And I'm not talking about like 100 million, but I'm just saying there's millions of people drinking raw milk. They drink it because the benefits, okay, the benefits are absolutely there. And people who do well with dairy and tolerate dairy well clearly know the benefits of raw milk. Okay, they clearly know it. They feel it. But yet these are people that drank pasteurized milk and were like, nothing, no benefit whatsoever. Okay, so this is like a real thing. And the only reason these people don't know this is because they just don't know what they're talking about. They have zero experience, zero. They just are talking points. And they follow the CDC, what they say, but they don't actually know anything about it, nothing. Because they're lazy. They don't do any research. They don't get any real information that's actually accurate. And they don't actually talk to real people who drink raw milk and say, hey, what benefits have you got? Oh, I started drinking raw milk and my eczema went away. Really? I drank pasteurized milk my whole life. Always had eczema. Start drinking raw milk and my eczema goes away. And I've heard this from people. Okay, I've heard a lot of health benefits. Actually, one of my farmers, when she started drinking raw milk, her arthritis went away. And she said the only thing that she was doing different was drinking the raw milk. She said everything else was the same. Like I didn't change anything. It was just, I started getting into the raw milk at her farm. She started drinking lots of raw milk and her arthritis completely went away. And she had had it since she was a child. It was like that childhood arthritis thing. She had had it her whole life. And it went away when she started drinking raw milk. So again, these people that say there's no benefit to it are just full of shit. They're full of shit. I've noticed significant benefits to my health. My children notice it too. Like my children, because they're grown now, they'll go a little while without raw milk and they're always like, I need milk, because they know the difference. They can feel it. They know that when they have raw milk in their diet, they know that it is significantly different than when they don't. And my son actually really loves milk from the farm up the street. I'm pointing that way because it's over there. It's like right up the street. It's a walking distance from where we live. It's pasteurized milk. It's delicious. It's really good. It's very creamy. It's like really, really good milk and it tastes really good. There's zero health benefit to it. I've drank it before. My son does drink it from time to time. And he knows that there's no comparison to the way that he feels when he drinks the raw milk versus the pasteurized milk. And we've actually gone weeks where I haven't been able to get to the farm that I get my raw milk at because it's an hour and a half away. Just haven't been able to get there for whatever reason. So we do get the milk there. And again, it's like flatline. Like we like it. We like the taste of it. But there's nothing there. There's no benefit to it. As a matter of fact, it gives us little glitchy things. My daughter can't do pasteurized milk at all. Maybe like she can have a little bit, but it doesn't work for her at all. It gives her earaches like really bad. They come on really fast. And yeah, absolutely doesn't work for her. And she thrives on raw milk, thrives. And, I've watched both of my children thrive on it. And again, the risks are overinflated. They're absolutely overinflated. Okay, and you hear of these outbreaks, and it's like, yes, there are outbreaks, but there's outbreaks where, tons of spinach is being recalled, tons of bags of lettuce are being recalled because they're contaminated. Food gets contaminated. It's the world we live in, okay? And because humans are involved, it's always going to be the case. All you can do is just reinforce good practices, okay? And reinforce that people take this seriously. Okay, so that things don't get contaminated. But the problem is a lot of contamination. It's very, very difficult to trace to the source, especially when it comes to produce. Okay, so actually, it's even more risky because they'll try to find where it came from and they can't find it. Whereas at least on a farm, you can go in and be like, oh yeah, we've tested and here it is, right? They can see it, they can find it. So it's going to be a lot easier to control that. Whereas when it comes to produce and stuff, they can't control it. They can't control it. So in essence, that's actually far more dangerous because it's really unknown. There's no direct link. But small farms, at least there's a direct link, right? You can find it there. Oh, gee, there it is, right? You just can't trust people. You have to do your own legwork. You have to do the work. You have to look into things yourself. You've got to know which questions to ask, because if you don't ask the right questions, you will not get the right answers, okay? Got to know what to ask. So you have to ask really hard questions, and you need to really demand that when somebody tells you something, they need to prove it with real scientific data that has been put to the test and that has been not only peer reviewed, because that doesn't mean a whole lot to me, right? Because I sat on a jury before, and I can tell you my peers are nothing like me. My peers that were sitting on that jury with me, I wouldn't trust walking my dog, okay? I don't trust that. But what I'm saying is that where's the real scientific data? And in order to have real scientific data, it needs to be repeatable again and again and again and again and again. We need to see that when you do this, it does this the abundance of times, right? This abundance of times, or we need to see consistent patterns, right? This is what real science is, which is why epidemiological studies are useless, because they do not show patterns that are consistent all over the planet. We just don't see it. That means there's other variables, right? And then you have this dynamic interaction of all things, and that cannot be accounted for, is what happens when you mix all these different variables together, okay? So you got to own yourself, and don't let people tell you what you can and cannot do. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Hopefully you'll live and learn from it. If you die, you die. But these are risks that are up to us to decide whether or not we want to take them. It is not up to the government and to anybody who thinks that they are an authority over you. Fuck them. Signing out.